It is. If we put the matrix scenario on the side, if let's say if that doesn't happen, that actually sounds like the golden age of humanity, where we become like godlike level and have like an open playing field in like what we can do.
Yeah.
And then I think
There's no longer us and our technology. There's just us.
yeah,
The
yeah,
technology is us.
exactly. That becomes very, very interesting. And then what does humanity collectively do? Because at one point we're gonna all kind of like hive mind connect at one point somewhere on there's gonna be some kind of like a Facebook, Instagram or something like that where
Yeah.
we um
I'm glad you brought up Facebook and Instagram, because I have a very negative view towards current social media as it exists now. I really, really detest the way um, it sort of focus groups hate and fear and misinformation, and it incentivizes the sorts of emotions that get us to click without judgment, and to pursue a story that fires us up rather than for the wrong reasons, rather than think things out. And I was thinking about that. Where do we go from here? From like this social media outrage obsessed culture that we have now, how could we possibly get from this to like a peaceful Star Trek kind of future? And I was out for a walk with my dog and just thinking this over, and it took the form in my head of a conversation between me and whether it was an advanced alien from another culture that was a few centuries ahead of us, or whether it was a human from the future or whatever. But it took this form of a conversation that I had where they had made themselves known to us, and I was having a one-on-one conversation with this creature that had appeared before me. And I didn't care about what the thing looked like or any of that, but it was a case of like, how do you go from the Facebook generation to whatever you are? And whatever you are is to my mind indistinguishable from magic, to quote Arthur C. Clarke. And the response was that whole thing of transmitting the idea, right? You have complete and total understanding of the idea that I had, and understanding of why I reached that conclusion, and all of the context required for it. And what this imaginary being anyway classified it as was total empathy. You can see everyone else's perspective on things, and you can process that so completely that it's hard to kind of put into words again, but
you would understand and empathize and kind of put yourself in the other person's perspective to a literally 100%, because every scene that happened in their life, you would kind of be able to live it through in your mind, because you would have the same impulses, because the brain works in impulses, electricity and chemicals, right? And if we had
exactly
that, we could transfer everything directly. So we would
it's like you could simulate their point of view to total understanding. And while that sounds like the death of privacy, you could also process it to the point where you gain the understanding and then lose the knowledge. So if they want to keep something from you, they can, and you will understand the reasons why they want to do that, and you will absolutely not have that information anymore. But it's so
as we evolve, we'll have to get rid of privacy as well, because if somebody can scan your whole brain, like you can scan also their whole brain, and everybody has something that they don't want to share with someone, and like something stupid that you did as a kid, right? And since everybody will have that, it'll be just like pictures on Facebook. There are some older ones where you have a shorter haircut and you're like, oh, I didn't look good there, right? We will. And imagine having billions of those instantaneously transferred into your mind. You'll be like, yeah, all right, everybody did something stupid when they were younger. Everybody did a lot of mistakes. I think that's when we'll have true, like a true social network, where we get to the point where we so understand each other, and then people will be like, now I get it, right? That's I did this, that's why that happened there. And then we will I think that's the point where we lose privacy, mistrust, anger, envy, jealousy. Like, because if you will 100% understand someone who, let's give an extreme example, killed someone out of rage, like you
Yeah.
will actually be able to emphasize with both sides, because we'll be able to scan both brains, right?
Sure.
even the dead ones. And then we'll be like, oh, that's what happened. And then we will understand both sides, because first we will have their whole life story in front of us. We will see all the pros and cons against it, and we will probably be able to do, like we watch movies now, we'll probably be able to do a 3D, no, like 100% D, where we get the chemicals running through our bodies, what happened to people that were in those situations, and we'll be like, yeah, I really didn't see that happening, or I really didn't think it through, right? And I think that's where true understanding comes from. I think that's where humanity is heading. Then we'll be like, all right, so now we have to figure out the true mission for humanity, or like what we're going to do and how we're going to get there, right?
Yeah, I think I was disagreeing with you initially. I mean, I kind of value privacy. I want privacy to remain a thing, but I think it needs to be tweaked where it's privacy by consent of all.
So like a damper that kind of says, all right, you can see this, but not this.
Yeah, or like you can see all of this and why I want it kept private, but once you understand that, that no longer, you have that understanding of why it's private, but you no longer have the information.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.